life is like a bunch of seagulls. Stay with me, because this simple story about chasing seagulls will teach you a lot about what it means to be truly productive by slowing down, not speeding up. I was at the beach, my favourite beach. I head there regularly to walk and think and reflect on my life, my work and my community. But I was also in a playful mood. It happens. And as I approached a group of seagulls, which according to Google is called a squabble of seagulls, I thought I might, well, help them squabble. So I ran at them full pelt, waving my arms wildly, enjoying the feeling of seagulls squawking and flying all around me. So then I stopped, puffed from all the running and squabbling myself, and I turned around. To my surprise, the seagulls had returned to the place they were originally. You wouldn't have known that there was a squabble of activity just a few seconds before. In spite of all my effort, running and puffing, nothing had really changed. That was an aha moment for me, or a kairos, that helped me reflect on the nature of my work and how we use our time. Cal Newport, author of Slow Productivity, does a fantastic job of describing seagulls in the work context. He suggests that many of us, unsure about how to define success, use busyness and activity as a default measure of productivity. He calls this pseudo-productivity, the use of visual activity as the primary means of approximating actual productive effort. Put simply, we measure the value of our workplace by how many seagulls are squabbling all around us, by the number of messages we respond to, the meetings we attend, and the urgency of response that we give to things that happen to pop up all around us. But this is all just noise. It's flapping in the wind. And when we look back on how we used our time, there's often very little to show for it. Lots of activity, but few meaningful outcomes. I mean, the classic is email. I read a study once that says for every email we send, we receive 1.2 emails back again. I mean, it's a mug's game. That means the more emails we send, the more emails we receive. You can't outrun email. So if you let emails determine the texture of every moment, you'll end up being busier and more frantic than ever before, but achieving fewer important results. I mean, the same is true when it comes to newer communication tools like Slack or MS Teams. The faster we respond to messages and notifications that come our way, the more distracted we become and the less likely we are to achieve the slow, concentrated, focused activities that truly make a difference. And the same is true with meetings. We're spending so much time communicating and collaborating in meetings that we no longer have time to actually do the work that we need to do. That's a huge problem. So this is all pseudo-productivity, where we measure our own value by how busy and frantic we are, how much flapping there is in the wind, flapping our arms and making noise rather than measuring the slow, considered, deep concentration activities that truly lead to lasting outcomes. So, what's the alternative? How can we begin to measure meaningful outcomes as opposed to hyperactive effort? Rather than pseudo-productivity, we need space-maker productivity, where we make space to think, plan, and approach our work in a meaningful, sustainable way. It's about doing less, not more. Working on fewer things that really matter rather than working harder on busy work. So let me give you 3 simple tips to get you started. The first one is to take time to think. I coached a manager recently who works in an open office, and we talked about the importance of taking time out of our busy working lives in order to think. The idea that thinking is real work, even though it doesn't necessarily look like work, like sending emails or attending meetings or other busy activities, which often are pseudo-productivity activities. She took my advice seriously, and she gave herself permission to think, to reflect on her culture, her team, her strategy, and the next best thing she could do with her time. And guess what happened? While she was sitting back, thinking, reflecting on her work, one of her team took a photo of her and posted it on Snapchat, suggesting she was losing her mind. I was furious when I heard that, because thinking is real work. It's often the most important thing we can do to move our team along, our strategy, and to actually make a difference in the world, to make space for what truly matters. And yet pushing emails and being busy and frantic, flapping our arms in the wind is what we expect nowadays. When thinking at work becomes so abnormal that it leads to social criticism, well then something has gone seriously wrong in the way we define productivity. So be like this brave manager. Pause and take time to think. Give yourself permission to make space for deeper thought, even if no one else in your team understands what you're truly doing. It takes courage to make space, but eventually you will begin to outperform your peers. In the words of Steve Martin, you'll become so good that they can't ignore you. Then you can send a snap back with a photo of your promotion and increased paycheck, because concentrated, focused work beats pseudo-productivity hands down. So, my second big tip is to take time to plan. According to one Finnish study, 70% of office workers don't take time to plan their week, but those who do are far more productive than the rest. And this is no surprise to me because I consistently see that the best workers are those who consistently plan their year, their week, and their day. Be clear about your priorities. Break down big projects into small, actionable next steps. Define the most important things to do each week and use time blocking to achieve the things that truly matter. Make space to think and plan and therefore do something that truly matters day by day. If you need help, I would love you to download my free Priority Samurai mini course, a series of 3 free videos based on all my coaching and training to help you both identify your most important priorities and execute them in the day-to-day whirlwind of life. Priority Samurai is a brand new e-learning course that I've spent years developing, and these 3 videos will set you up with the essential skills to break the busy cycle and do what truly matters. Visit PrioritySamurai.com and enjoy these fantastic videos for free. The link is in the description. Okay, my third and final point is to take meaningful breaks. One of the pillars of what Cal Newport calls slow productivity is to work at a natural pace. He's not saying we should be lazy or unfocused, but he is saying that if we are to achieve the types of concentration-rich, focused, meaningful activities that truly add value in the knowledge work sector, then you need to give yourself time to rest and recuperate between work sessions. Give yourself the permission to slow down in order to speed up. I mean, your mind needs space to be at your best. This might involve walking around the block to freshen up, or to eat a decent lunch, or to simply take some time out to think about your next best step. These small breaks won't stop you from achieving your best work. In fact, the opposite is true. If you stay at your desk all day, pounding away at emails and responding to Teams messages and dealing with minutiae, you'll end up flapping your wings all day without achieving anything of substance. So, back at the beach, I had an idea. I decided to walk past the same colony of seagulls, but this time at a slow, measured pace. And guess what happened? They didn't squawk or fly. They simply moved around me, getting out of my way as I continued along my path. Noise and activity are not the same as productivity. That's why making space is at the heartbeat of true productivity. It's about slowing down, not speeding up, in order to get the right things done. That said, it was a whole lot of fun chasing seagulls. If you're ever at the beach, I highly recommend you do the same. But don't work this way. Think deeply, plan your work, take meaningful breaks, and enjoy some space. If you connect with this idea, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and good luck not flapping. Make space.